people bred and raised her that own her now, Travelers Farms. They're from San Ynez, and they've been great people to me all along. They've had horses, and then finally I was like, this one, she's good enough. And they were like, okay, well, whatever you want to do, we'll enter at Fort Worth, or, and so they've been awesome. So they're here tonight, and yeah, I've had her since she was 2. The guy at the ranch that works for them started her, and then we got her as soon as it was time to put her on cows, and she was really, really crazy. Kate, the girl that works for me, spent a whole bunch of time on her as a 2-year-old, but like all along, I felt like she was the best one I had.
When you say crazy, give me an example.
Oh, she was just nuts. Like, you take her away from her friends, and she'd like try to climb out of walls, and I mean, she's crazy. But she's matured into a really smart horse, and I seem to get along with that type. Everything I get along with is either goofy or crazy or wild.
What do you call her?
Well, they gave her the barn name of Rocio, but we call her Paint Belly because she's got a spot on her belly. So, real ironic name.
I marked a 15 on him the first time, or 16, maybe 15 on him the first time, and a 16 the second time, and I don't know, he just feels unbelievable under me, but apparently he don't have quite as much eye appeal as I think he does, because they just hadn't really, loaded him up yet. But maybe I'll get me 3 cows that'll let him do his deal tomorrow.
What about the crowd? Did you hear them?
Yeah, they was liking it, wasn't they? Well, actually, I went down there and finalists wanted me to go pick one of them out, and I got my pick of them that year. So the 2 that Ronnie got, and this horse, and the 2 that Tarin had, and anyway, I took him.
Why?
Just because he's so strong and, laid back. Just a good horse.
Do you have many of them that move that way?
No.
Explain that move to me.
Well, I don't really know. He just gets real low right there and crouches and wants to do the deal.
She's a wild little mare. She's real hot. And she's got more energy than any horse I've ever rode. But she's also one of the cowiest horses I've ever rode, and so she, she's going to come back to a cow no matter what happens. She wants to look at it, and she's real gritty. She really wants to cut. She's just a little hard to contain.
Tell me how you deal with this mare being so hot. I mean, what challenges does that?
We just ride her a lot. She's real sweet-minded, and I would say she's a good-minded mare. But she always wants to go and wants to do more than she needs to. It doesn't matter what happens. She's constantly looking at a cow. I mean, a cow run out when I was doing my dry work, and it was behind her, and she's sitting there just looking at it. And some horses I've had have been scared of cattle, and they act like that, but she's not scared of them, but she just wants to know what's going on and what they're doing.
She's a cat mare that's out of that really good Pepto mare I had for Slate River, the Pepto Slice Miss. So she's the second one I've rode out of her. It means a lot, like it's the first year back at the ranch, and she made it. But she's a really good horse, really, really good. Well, she's so smart about a cow, but she can stop big and wide. But she just reads the cow so good, Glade showed it in on pro, and he loses a cow like right at the end of a run there, and I've never seen him happier. Like he's like, John, that mare is just exactly what we talked about. I don't know that you ever know if you've got a shot. You just do the best you can. But if you get 3 good cows in front of me, you can do it all. She is full of antics. Like it doesn't want to lead when it doesn't want to lead. It stands there and just leans on the rope there tied to the fence. You watch them trying to take a bridle off. She's rubbing on them before they've even got the bridle off. She's just a total bloody character.
J.D. Garrett had that mare as a 2-year-old. Did a phenomenal job with her. Can't say enough of how good a job he did on that mare. So we took her over at the Super Stakes and just kind of kept going with her, and she's just panned out to be a really good, smart, strong mare. She's got a really good stop and just a really smart little show horse.
And you've already won 1 title on her this show.
Yeah, we got lucky and was able to win the little limited deal, so that was a lot of fun. 7 runs counted.
So what do you think that says about her? I mean, as a 3-year-old coming here and doing
it means a lot. She stayed strong and consistent every time, and she's just got a little better every run. She's a bit of a handful outside, She doesn't love to be patted on a lot. She just kind of likes to get done and be put away. You know, she doesn't always get put away, but she likes to be put away. You know, she likes to go out and do her job and be done. You know, she can do whatever she wants outside of the pen if she keeps performing for us.
So I picked him up, I think, like 2 days after the Futurity, and we've had him ever since. And he was pretty easy to train. Most cat studs are pretty lazy and stuff. Gets to summertime, they don't get as good. They're kind of low on energy and they don't really want to try as hard. So I had him pretty trained about end of May, early June, and so I didn't work him much this summer. Just 2 or 3 times a week, and I took him to West Texas in Amarillo, and I worked him every day up there. He was extremely good, so I thought, well, that worked. We get home from there, and he gets stranglers and has over a month off of no work. I was still thinking, well, I hope my summertime layup didn't, go the other way, but it didn't. So we're good. And he's healthy now, and he can breathe, and he doesn't cough, so we're good. The gentleman owns him now is named Ruben Ormo. This was his first cutting horse. That's kind of the really crazy thing. I told him it's not always going to turn out like this, because this is probably my favorite horse I've ever had.
Yeah, we bought this horse out of the 2-year-old sale last year from Hayden Upton, and she was really, really nice 2-year-old, and we've just been working her all year long, and she really grabs hold of a cow good and stops, and she's real slinky. And Rusty and Shelly Simpson, they bought her for me, the people that own Dual Smart Kitty that I won the Futurity on last year, and she's this little roan mare is real nice horse. She stops hard and puts her head down there, and she's real smart about a cow, and hopefully we can just keep going on. Well, I'll tell you, it was a nerve-wracking deal. I was the second horse out the very first day, and I missed my cut, and I had this mare on the next day, and I kind of had to go back and refocus a little bit. It rattled me a little bit, and but I came back and showed her mark 14.5 the first time and 17 the second time, and I knew this mare was a really good mare. I just had to do my part, so hopefully we'll just keep advancing along.
Well, I was real proud of him. He, we cut some black cattle. They cut a lot of the colored cattle, and the ones that were left we didn't really care for. So we cut some cows we thought we could control and handle, and it worked out good. Gail Holmes raised him, and Wes Ashlock had this horse a long time and done a great job on him. He's just kind of gotten better ever since for me. So I know he's been a pleasure to ride. He stops good, moves good. I've rode several out of that mare's mother, and they've all been good. He's an exceptional mover, stops, and he can go, with some speed if you need to, and then he can go slow and look fairly good doing that too. So.
What's his personality like?
It's really good. He's pretty good, pretty easy to be around. I just think consistency. He's been tried to be consistent all along, and which when they're consistent, they make me feel confident too, which helps you feel comfortable when you're showing them.
Robert Charles Brown, a good friend of mine, had told me a while back that he'd been wanting to buy a stud. So Roger, tell me about this horse, and right after the day after Futurity last year, Roger ended up going back to Australia. And so Tommy, I had some horses for Tommy at the time, and he called me and said, I'm going to sell that stud. Robert Charles, he's at Disneyland with his family in Florida, and that's when we had that real bad ice storm, and I wanted him to fly in and look at him because he was pretty expensive and not just go off my word. And so anyways, we finally get him in there. He flies in, work the horse, and done deal. He's been really special to train, really, really good horse, and exactly kind of what we're looking for. But I can tell, like the last few days, he just hasn't been feeling very good. The weather change and everything, so you try to keep him feeling good, obviously. Getting by tonight was the big thing. Kind of had a late draw. Cal's been tough today. Took a 14.5. I don't think I've ever seen him take that low of a score, to make the finals. It's been a little nerve-wracking. It's like the most nerve-wracking fun show of the year.
Robert Trigema, the guy that owns him, bought him at the yearling sale, and I went and looked at him in a stall, and Bob didn't want to spend a lot of money on him, and I thought he'd go for a lot, and he did. And I was cleaning stalls, and he came back and handed me the sale ticket and said he bought him. So it was kind of a neat deal, and he's just really a smart horse. It just seems like I can put him anywhere I want, and he still just goes and does and finds the right spot. And just pretty fortunate to have him and have Bob as an owner, and sure glad he went ahead with that purchase. You know, we call him Ham because Don Ham had him at the sale, fitted him. So, and he's kind of a ham. That's what he is. So. Yep. First time I worked him on a cow, yeah, he was a little scared of the herd, but I mean, first cow I just ever stepped to him on. I mean, he like put his head down, put his ears up, and just had just a ton of just natural look. And I kind of figured that all go away because that's usually how that works, but it didn't. He just has continued to just be really good the whole time.
One of my customers named Lionel Salaveria owns her. He's from Venezuela, and she's kind of funny. She's a smaller horse, and she was real hot, kind of wild, dual reacting to train, but ended up making a nice little horse. Sophia is what we call her, HNS Sophia, and I believe Lionel, the owner, named the horse after his granddaughter.
She's a dual ray mare out of a mare called Poosmal. I got her sent to me in early this year. Had her for about 30 days, and she came up sore. She got a bone bruise. So she had about 4 months to about 4.5 months off. And so I told Charles Berger that you know, she's probably gonna be too green to show at the Futurity, I thought, with having that much time off. And then just the last month, she just really came into herself, and you know, she's such a good-minded mare that she's been just easy to train. Meaning she wants to do it, she just needs to keep getting more seasoned, and she's just a really strong, talented mare that's been really good-minded, and she just, for her to be at this stage with having that 4 months off is pretty crazy, really. So I'm lucky to have her. I'm happy to have her. And I'm glad that Charles believed in me enough to send her to me.